Greetings, petrolheads. Welcome back to Automation, the car company Tycoon. Today, I want to take a look at the 2016 Athena SL9. There it is. This is going to be using the same body shell that we also used on the SL8. And this is what I turned the SLX concept into, that you may remember from a while ago when it was one of the first videos related to the Athena series. And you may remember this rear end, it's hardly changed at all. So yeah, that's what this car turned into. The front is all new. And well, let's look at the details. There is a steel monocoque, carbon fiber panels, double wishbones up front, multi-link rear. Why the steel monocoque? Because I think that it makes for better safety than the aluminium, and also I think that it just overall offers a little bit more stability, because when we've had this a couple of times. Monocoque down low, heavy, panels up on the top light. That makes for a low center of gravity, and therefore that would make it handle a little bit better and make it a little bit make it roll less. So it is rear-wheel drive. And the engine is a 6.5 liter twin turbo V12. Something just tapped me out, I'm sorry. There was the little BRB screen, I'm sorry. It was not in my control. 640 horsepower, 677 pound-feet of torque, it's like 900 newton meters, pretty much. Twin turbo V12, of course. Direct injection running to 6,500 RPM. And we have a 7-speed double clutch gearbox. We have an electric diff. We have sports tires, 285s on the rear and 265s up front. Alloy rims, because you know, we don't really gain much benefit out of having magnesium or carbon fiber rims. You're not fooling anyone. This car weighs 2,200 kilograms, or more than that actually. Like, how much weight are you gonna save by putting on carbon fiber rims? It's not really gonna make a big difference at all. It'll only make the car needlessly expensive, needlessly more expensive at least, because it's not really cheap to begin with. Carbon fiber, carbon ceramic brakes, front and rear. Fully clad under tray, plenty of cooling airflow. And then the best interior you can possibly imagine with +5 quality. Comfort, active comfort springs, semi-active dampers and passive sway bars with a very drivability focused setup. But even so, the drivability is slightly lower than the sportiness, and sportiness is at 45. That's a little bit more than I expected, because, well, apart from sports tires, there's nothing I really set up to be that sporty. And I guess that's double clutch gearbox also makes for good sportiness. Then again, it is a 6.5 liter twin turbo V12 with 640 horsepower, so you know, it's not particularly slow. It's not as fast as some of you may have expected though. 4.7 seconds 0 to 100 is still quick by almost any standards. And the quarter mile is going by quite quickly as well. 12.6 seconds. That's certainly not bad for a car this heavy. But the big number is the top speed. Now, Anselmo Pereira has asked me to build a hyper saloon, because in 2010 or so hyper saloons appeared, and the new car should have more than 700 horsepower. I'm not sure why you're so fixated on that number of 700 and something horsepower, because apart from the Charger Hellcat, can you name one saloon car that makes over 700 horsepower? Well, the Tesla Model S P80 P90D or whatever it's called, the 700 horsepower electric car. But that's it. Like, even with the 640 horsepower, this is able to go 346 kilometers an hour, which is almost 20 kilometers an hour faster than a Charger Hellcat. So when it's already this fast, why would it need the 7, like an amount of horsepower that starts with a 7, and that isn't 70 something? I don't know. It's fast enough as is, I think. Now, as far as markets go, this isn't right. Let's increase one of these by 1 point and see what... Why is this so expensive? Wait, hold on. This is supposed to be in full production, yes. Yes. Okay, and then I can't go there. Why is this so expensive? It's not supposed to be so expensive. This one is supposed to be costing around $250,000 or something like that. And I think that's actually a fair price for what you get. That's pretty much also what you pay for a Bentley Continental or Rolls-Royce Ghost or something. Maybe you even pay a little bit more for those. But yeah, it certainly has its own appeal in that it has its own style. It's not as retro as the Rolls and the Bentley. It's more modern looking, and that might appeal to some different audiences. And I was also asked to build like a quote-unquote ultimate car with like plus 15 quality on everything, and that is not only fast but like dignified and comfortable and everything. And so I decided to make that a special version of the SL9. It is still rear-wheel drive, and aesthetically we have some minor changes. One is that there's some chrome around these side indicators. There's a chrome bar here. There's some indicators also surrounded by chrome on the mirrors, and then the rear end has some unique taillights and LTD, which is also highlighted to make sure that everybody knows you're one of the 50 lucky people who got to buy one of these, because there's only going to be 50 examples of this, 50 units of this limited edition model. It also has different exhausts. Only 50 units, and that is because this thing is going to be extremely expensive and extremely high tech. And this name, by the way, is keeping up with the nomenclature tradition. And yes, that means it has a 9.9 liter engine, which is also turbocharged. Because a 9.9 liter V12 isn't enough, of course. No, that's not the reason, but obviously it's because of emissions, because we need to go with the time. And you know what? Sure, let's turbocharge this 9.9 liter engine. What's the worst that could happen, right? I-beam titanium conrods, forged pistons, because lightweight forged wouldn't be able to handle torque, I think. They would. That even would give us more. How in the world are lightweight forged pistons capable of handling this much torque? It's more than 1800 Newton meters. It's well over twice as much as the Viper makes. Direct injection front per cylinder, because a little bit sharper front response can't possibly hurt. 2 reverse flow mufflers to make this into like the ultimate cruiser, if you will. Should be quiet, comfortable and all that. And comfortable it is. With 76.3 comfort, it is certainly one of the most comfortable cars I've ever made. And of course it has plus 15 quality and everything. On the suspension, on the aero, on the interior as we've seen, on the brakes, tires, gearbox. And it also has some wider rear tires because, well, otherwise you're not going to be moving in a straight line anymore with this much torque going only to the rear wheels. 285s up front, they are also wider than on the standard SL9, but really the big deal is the rear tires, 335s. This one does have carbon fiber rims though, because if it's gonna be costing $1.3 million, it may as well have carbon fiber rims, right? And how fast is this thing now? 4.2 seconds 0 to 100, and then let's test it on a quarter mile as well. Little bit of wheel spin even in third gear, and then 11.7 seconds is a little bit behind the Viper, which I think does it in 11.5, or at least it did on Motor Trend anyway. And the big number again is the top speed, 407 kilometers an hour. That's the same as the standard Bugatti Veyron, the 16.4. And you get that in a luxury saloon. So, I mean, again, $1.3 million is, of course, a shitload of money. sorry for that expression, but like, it is an incredible amount of money, but you get pretty much everything you could ever ask for in a car. It's fast. It's comfortable. It's you know, not terribly thirsty. It's highly prestigious with a large V12. It's got chrome everywhere. It's got handmade interior. It's got everything you could possibly want in a fast saloon and in a premium saloon or in any sort of saloon, really. And some, basically. And the top speed at 407. Let's see how close to that we can get on this 5 kilometer straight. That was like 200 miles an hour in 5th gear, but it has 7 gears. $370, $380, $390. Not quite 400, but still close enough. Yeah, with this being a limited edition model that will only be sold in 50 units, it's pretty safe to say that it'll also gain value over time rather than losing value over time, because it is strongly limited, and you know, limited edition cars usually tend to what's the opposite of depreciate? Appreciate? I don't know, but for example, pretty much any limited edition Ferrari ever, the F40, I recently, like it was like yesterday or so, saw an episode of a German car manufacturer, German car magazine, not manufacturer, German car magazine. They were making an episode of a car dealer that sells only exclusive and exotic cars, sports cars mainly, and he had a Ferrari F40 that, when new, it cost about, well, what would now be the equivalent of about 500,000 euros, but now in today's age it is worth 1.2 million euros. He sold it for 1.2 million euros, the F40. Or the Enzo, when it was new, it cost around 400,000, 500,000, something like that. And again, 1.3 million. No. That was what he gave plus the F40. It was like overall price of 2.4 million euros for the Enzo. And then the LaFerrari, which was only 1 year old, the one that he had, when it was new, it cost 1.2 million, but now it was sitting at 3 million. It gained that much value in 1 year. And given that this is also going to be very strongly limited, only 50 cars worldwide, well, it's probably also going to be gaining value over time, because it is a great car. How could it not be, with the highest possible components everywhere? So, and at 1.3 million, it's still cheaper than any Bugatti you could buy. A standard Veyron was like 1.8 million or so. This is at 1.3, and you do get a lot more practicality out of it, and the luxury of having rear seats that you can actually use and you can hire a chauffeur on this one. You couldn't do that on a Bugatti. You wouldn't want to sit in the back of a Bugatti. It's just not spacious enough. So in any case, tell me what you think about this car. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Leave a like or a comment if you did. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.